My family abandoned me at a rest stop when I was 22, leaving me stranded with no money or phone. Now they have contacted me and asked for money. We were driving back from my grandmother's funeral in Ohio. Me, my parents, and my two younger brothers packed into our van for the 8-hour drive home. I'd just graduated college that spring and was living with them while job hunting. Around hour 5, my dad pulled into this rest stop off the highway, said he needed coffee and we should all stretch our legs. I went to the bathroom, got some water from the fountain, normal rest stop stuff. When I walked back outside, the van was gone. At first, I thought they moved to a different parking spot, maybe closer to the exit or under some shade. But I walked around that entire rest stop twice. Our van wasn't there. I checked my pockets for my phone, left it in the cup holder. My wallet was in my purse, in the van. I had literally nothing except the clothes I was wearing and like $3 in my jacket pocket. I waited for 2 hours thinking maybe they'd realize and come back. They never did. Finally, I used a payphone to call my dad's cell. It went straight to voicemail. I called my mom. Voicemail. My brother. Voicemail. Every single number I could remember. Nobody answered. A truck driver named Dale saw me sitting on the curb crying and asked if I needed help. I explained what happened and he let me use his phone to try calling again. Still nothing. Dale drove trucks for Walmart and offered to drop me at the police station in the next town. The cops took a report, but said unless I could prove it wasn't an accident, there wasn't much they could do. They let me sleep in the station waiting room that night. The next morning, I called my parents' house from the station phone. My brother picked up. "Where are you guys?" I asked, trying not to scream. "Home," he said casually, like nothing happened. "You left me at a rest stop." There was silence. Then my dad got on the phone. He said they talked about it as a family during the rest of the drive, decided I was 22 years old and needed to figure life out on my own, that letting me live at home rent-free was making me lazy. They thought leaving me stranded would teach me independence. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "You abandoned your daughter at a highway rest stop as a life lesson?" My dad said it wasn't abandonment. I was an adult. I could call someone or figure it out. That's what adults do. Then he hung up. I had no one to call. My college friends had all moved away for jobs. My grandmother, who might have helped, was literally the person we'd just buried. The police connected me with a women's shelter 2 towns over. I stayed there for 3 weeks working at a gas station to save money. Got a bus ticket to another state where I'd seen job postings. Started completely over with nothing. That was 8 years ago. I worked my way up from gas station clerk to assistant manager to finally landing a sales job at a tech company. Moved up to regional manager, then director of sales. Last year, I made 6 figures for the first time, bought my own house, my own car, built my own life. Then last month, I got an email from my mother. The subject line said family emergency. She wrote that my dad had a heart attack and needed surgery. Their insurance wouldn't cover all of it. They'd already borrowed from my brothers, who were both struggling with their own bills. Would I be willing to help with the medical costs? Maybe $15,000. I stared at that email for 3 days. Part of me wanted to help because he's still my dad, but the other part remembered sitting on that curb at 22 with $3, watching cars drive by while my family just left me there. I wrote back one sentence. "You taught me that adults figure it out on their own." Then I blocked all their emails and numbers. My mom somehow got my work number and called my office. Started crying about how I was abandoning family in their time of need. How could I be so cruel? I reminded her that I sat at a rest stop for hours thinking my family was dead in a car accident, only to find out they left me on purpose. She said that was different. That was about teaching me a lesson. This was a real emergency. I told her the lesson I learned was that I couldn't count on them, and hung up. My youngest brother found me on Facebook last week, said I was being selfish and petty, that family helps family. I sent him the police report from that night 8 years ago, the one where I had to explain to officers that my parents intentionally left me stranded. Then I unfriended him. I don't feel guilty. They made their choice when they drove away from that rest stop. I'm just making mine now.